Okay, I'm gonna make 2 videos today because I already tried to make one, and I went into this thing about Bill Maher and the whole Republicans thing and all that stuff. And I was watching. Well, let me discuss it first, real quick. Bill Maher. Well, welcome to Morning Coffee with James. I'm James. This is my morning coffee show. YouTube, Facebook. Today I'm discussing comedy, one of my favorite discussions of the arts, and I feel like as somebody as I classify myself as an American supervillain, and somebody. Well, I'll discuss that in just a moment, but I enjoy the arts. I enjoy all forms of art. I don't care if it's from the right or the left. If you're expressing yourself and you're giving a full detail of it, if you're making something that is awesome and beautiful and it hits in the heart area, it hits in the mind, if it does the 3 things that Peter Gabriel talks about, what makes a great song, if it makes you think, if it makes you feel, and if it makes you dance, then it's great. It goes with most arts. If it makes you feel and think, and it also makes you feel energized, makes you move your body, it's good art. But I was watching Bill Maher do his podcast show. I think it's like Random Talk. I'm not a big Bill Maher fan. I think he's a smug asshole at times. And he talked about the difference between Republican comedies and liberal comedies. And he was talking about, Republicans are not funny. I disagree with that. I think there's funny Republicans out there, but I also think there's funny liberals out there. The problem is that they get too one-sided and they don't turn around to their other side and just, I'll give you an example. Bill Maher is an example. He's talking about, the Republicans. Again, when you're a liberal, let's be honest, and this is for the liberals out there, we've had so much ammunition. They've had so much, excuse me, now I'm sounding like, oh, you're a liberal. It's like, no, I used to think like that, but honestly, the liberal side, it's kind of like they understand, there's so much ammunition there. Like the Republican, the fly-by state, the blue-collar people, the gun hole, these idiot morons who, love war, the guns, and but if you look at nobody turns around to the left and goes, they're all looking at one side and mocking it. A good comedian, and this is why I love George Carlin, would turn around and go, shut the fuck, no, you're just as worse as those cocksuckers over there. The PC cult, at least the left would have the, decency to turn around to the right, liberal comedians who are good will kind of be more in the center and just kind of look at the other side and go, no, you motherfuckers, you shut the fuck up as well. You need to shut your fucking mouth, you fucking PC culture, yuppie motherfuckers who live, in overly protective environmental assholes. That kind of nonsense. You know what I mean? That's what I loved about George Carlin. He hit everybody in the face with a pie. A good comedian pies everyone in the face. Everybody gets stoned. Everybody gets pied in the face. And I will say this with the Republicans, they've been having ammunition, but they didn't have a good gun to put it in. You know what I mean? They never had a good rifle to put it in because most of I feel like Johnny Carson, he talked about Johnny Carson, and I will say this, they never discussed their political views because nobody gave a shit. Nobody gave a shit back then. I feel like nobody wanted to care. Nobody cared about your, liberal. Nobody cared about your either liberal or conservative views. Yeah, you either this or that. But the truth was, they were just trying to make you laugh. Like Johnny Carson was trying to make you laugh. Maybe Johnny Carson was old school Republican, of course, maybe, or old school liberal, maybe. But he wasn't in the sense of telling you his political views. The problem with this now, it's more preachier than it is. I mean, when Bill Maher started politically incorrect, he was kind of being what he was. He needed to be, I think it was a needed thing, but nowadays it's too much of that. It's too much of this, every comedian has to be Bill Maher. It's the same way with, every show has to be, the way Zach, I forget Psychic Pebbles, the guy who's doing the Smiling Friends, he talked about this. Every adult show, animated show now, and somebody does that, it's usually, oh, we'll just put a bunch of adult jokes in there with weed and, raunchy, and yeah, make it. No, that's not adult animation. Like, Fritz the Cat, yes, heavy, any of the Ralph Bashki stuff, any of the, Ralph and like, a good adult animation treats its audience with respect and understands their intelligence. I feel like that's the problem now. This is why I don't like South Park, because there's just too many shit jokes in there. It's too like, oh, it's raunchy. Where's the heart of it? You know what I mean? Like, it's gotten to a point where it's just like, all right, if you're doing an adult show, and also like even shows like Invincible and like, what's the one that's a fantasy one where it's like people are just getting eviscerated? It's like, enough, guys. We get it. Not everything should just be Dark Souls or should be The Boys. Have some fucking fun with it, you assholes. And again, when it comes to like comedy, it's like, it's the same thing. Comedy fails when it like you're too one-sided. You know what I mean? When you get too political, and I feel like that's the issue. And granted, especially with the Republicans, they never had the good gun to talk about this. They never. But now they have plenty of it. Well, no, they've always had ammunition. It's just that people are starting to wake up from the liberal bullshit, and you don't have good comedians out there who are not right of center. I still love Dennis Miller, and yes, he was the best gun out there, because he also had Norm Macdonald, who really wasn't. He was conservative, but he didn't give a shit about being a conservative. He went after both sides of this. He also criticized liberal comedians for making fun of the Bible and quoting Harry Potter, which, by the way, fuck Harry Potter. As much as I think, well, she used to until she went vegan. I think Emma Watson was hot before she went vegan. But you can say, oh, that's old age. No, it's died, motherfucker. Just get over it. The fact that if you don't know anything about died, then shut the fuck up, alright? Just because, we have the facts and I'm smart. It's like, no, because you don't do your fucking research and have an open fucking mind. That's my problem with fucking Republicans. It's, we have the facts, knowledge. I have all these facts and knowledge. Shut up! Shut the fuck up! Do some fucking research. Have an open mind about shit. Alright? I get it. And this is the thing. Republicans love traditionalism. They're traditionalists. And I believe that. That's the foundation of, everything, of culture. It's where everything should be. Thanksgiving dinners, the Sunday dinners, everybody comes together. Sunday is a day for the family, of the holy day. It's the day of rest. It's the day of commemorance and stuff like that. Whereas we're, say, progressiveness, or say, I'll use real progressiveness, is the idea of, okay, this guy's gay, but he's not evil. He's not, fucking kids in the back. He's just a guy who's just likes men, wants to live his life in private, doesn't really give a shit about, this or that. Or this woman, is an artist, and she's in the witchcraft and stuff like that, but she's not evil. She's just an edgy atheist. There's a difference. A real Satanist wants to hurt kids. An edgy atheist is in there for the cool looks. And that's understandable. Everybody's marching about facts and shit like that, like they're smart, like they're in a high school debate. Who gives a fuck? We're slowly going into a food shortage because we are giving money to another fucking war that liberals want. And that war hawk Republicans need to. I don't support Ukraine, okay? Nor Russia. I support America. And I don't want to be involved with that fucking war. Alright, don't put any fucking sanctions on there. You people voted in a man with dementia who is a smug asshole too. I can still see it a little bit. And he's a puppet. So shut the fuck up. Yes, we need a man like Donald Trump again. I'm sorry to say it. And I know I sounded like a more Republican, but honestly, the Democrats have not a good, strong leader. I mean, even with like Clinton, it's like, no, I'm sorry to say it, but like you've all been choosing like weak leaders who are just deviants most of the time. It's like, what the fuck? Like Barack Obama is a deviant. Fucking Bill Clinton, you know, Carter, like, worst president, but at least he had, like, some intention to be a good president. You know, I don't trust the Democrats whatsoever. But honestly, I do trust I do trust progressiveness. I do trust this open-mindedness of the liberal mind. But there's a point where you got to say, okay, this is wrong here. Especially when it comes to comedy and entertainment too. It's like, I do miss me a good old-fashioned 80s action movie. I miss it when entertainment didn't lecture me about my life, you know, and lecture me about the, you know, important subjects of feminism or fucking women equality or environmentalism or, you know, sexism isms, all the isms out there, which is, you know, if you call somebody a racist or some kind of evil thing, they're going to embrace it and they're not going to give a shit, okay? They're going to turn around and stab you right in the throat and then twist that fucker out. Stop it. Unless they are wearing a white robe with a white hood, unless they're wearing an SS uniform or a Black Panther outfit, and I'm not talking about the movie one, I'm sorry to say it, but the black nationalists are fucking racist as well. Get the fuck over it, or any racist group, hate group out there. Please. Get the fuck over it. You're both gay. You're both gay. And no, I shouldn't be using the word gay. Excuse me. You both suck. You're both terrible. Now, this is not coming from a libertarian point of view. I do like the libertarians, but even they're kind of a fucking joke at times. But they have good points, and you should listen to those points too. Same thing with the left and the right. We should just come together over one thing: America. And I will say this again, with proper etiquette, is that we need to stop, you know... Alright, I went off topic here. Again, comedy entertainment. I don't fucking want to be lectured by this is a funny thing too. Jamie Lee Curtis didn't want to use an AR-15 in the movie, not the new Halloween movie, but the one that came out before that. I forget what that one's called, but she didn't want to use an AR-15. She used a lever action rifle, which is a 45-75, I think it is, or 45-70, which is much more powerful than the 5.56. Much more bigger bullet, and will put a fucking hole this size in you. Which, like, anytime they do, like, an anti-gun message, like, when liberals talk about guns, they have no idea what the fuck they're talking about, because they refuse to do the research on it. And the same thing with the liberals, Republicans, when they talk about marijuana. It's like, both you need to shut the fuck up and actually do some work. Actually do some research. Like, sit down, talk to experts that know this shit better than you do. Like, legit experts, and actually go to the gun range and actually fire some of these things. You know, for the Republicans, actually smoke some weed. Just smoke it. I'm not asking you to be a pothead, I'm just asking you to fucking understand it. And granted, I understand I gotta go to the gym, but there's some people out there I don't want smoking weed because they made that decision, and I'd rather them not. Ted Nugent, Razor Fist, Ben Shapiro. I don't want them smoking weed because they made the decision not to, and I don't want to force that upon them. I'm talking about regular Joes out there who are just so gung-ho about that. But then again, that's your choice, and that's America's choice. But I would recommend trying to firearm off, just shooting it off. You know, and again, I'm starting to see that liberals are becoming more... I'm going back to the comedy thing and finishing up my statement. I'll say this. Any far political side comedian or entertainer will lose their audience because they refuse to be open-minded about shit. Even leftist side. I mean, yes, the Republicans, but even left-leaning, comedians lose some of their audience because they are just too one side or the other. I mean, with anytime you're too far on the political spectrum, you're going to lose a majority of the audience, and then they're not going to find you funny. There are moderates out there who are like, I just want some decent entertainment, and they lose that. And I feel like that's the problem, because again, with the left over there, they're too smug about their bullshit. You know what I mean? Smugness is not funny. It makes me wanna punch you in the fucking face. It makes me wanna grab you by the throat and just squeeze until you fucking gasp for air. And that's my issue with like left-leaning comedians, is that they're super, and I mean super smug and just up your, you know. Norm Macdonald talked about this perfectly. A good comedian doesn't brag about how smart he is to the audience. A good comedian plays it dumb. They play dumb. They play like an ass. They're stupid. This is why Steve Martin's so great, because he does come off as being like intelligent, but then he trips himself up on purpose. I am a very smart guy. I'm a very again, like that. You know what I'm talking. Like, the master. I think that's why I think he's funny, because he's allowing himself to be silly, but he's secretly an intelligent person. Norm Macdonald's the same way. Very conservative person, but he knows how to make everybody laugh, because he knows how to trip himself up a little bit. He knows how to make himself more of a goofball in the sense. He knows that, he's smart, but nobody likes a smug asshole, so he makes himself dumb to appease the audience. You know what I mean? Like, all the silly shit I do when I do the dramatic fucking hand-raising shit, I'm being silly on that purpose, you know what I mean? People don't get that. People don't want to understand that shit. Not to say intelligence is not funny, but there's a reason why people love the Joker over the Riddler. The Riddler is a smug, intelligent person, as where the Joker is intelligent, but he isn't smug. He's just devious. You know what I mean? That's why everybody loves him. He's also stylish, he's cool, he's dangerous. It's like he takes on a guy who's super fucking lethal and fucking makes jokes about it. Like, come on now. He shot Barbara Gordon in the spine, crippling her, and took nude pictures just to break Jim Gordon's mind. But again, that's 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 the problem I see. It's like and again, there's plenty of ammunition on both sides. Like I discussed, Razor Fist is good. Dennis Miller is good at making fun of liberals as well, and Republicans. I mean, like, you have a lot of conservative comedians out there, but they're not playing to the strength. They're not playing to the weakness of, I'm intelligent. Worship me. Because I do think smugness is kind of an annoying thing when someone does that. Well, listen here. Or they're just being an edgelord and they're lost their edge a long time ago. Ethan Klein. Oh god, by the way, if anybody discuss health with you and health and science or anything like that, don't listen to them. I mean, I'll say this about Ethan Klein. He's a fucking fat clown, and if he talks about health one more time, or exercise, and tells you that it's worthless or not great, he's trying to be funny, but he's also an idiot. Like, he's trying to be fun. I'll wait until he gets a heart attack or he just gets some kind of disease. I think he's unhealthy to begin with, and don't listen to him. If you really are committed to getting healthy, don't listen to some asshole named Ethan Klein. Like Boogie 298. Fuck, I can't remember his name. The guy who plays Francis. Perfect example of somebody who was trying to lose weight and took the procedure to make himself look healthy. Like, he should have stopped drinking Mountain Dew a long time ago. But again, I know why am I talking about Ethan Klein. Ethan Klein is left-leaning, and he's one of those edgelords people, along with Joe G. Miller, a.k.a. Filthy Frank, Pink Guy. Again, with most of these edgelords people. Hell, even Eric Andre, who I actually respected at one point in time, but then sold out when he did a Samsung Galaxy commercial, and he goes, "Hey, where are you at?" "Well, I'm just talking to you on my Samsung Galaxy phone." Eric, what the fuck? If I was Eric Andre, I'd be like, can I do the commercial? How funny would it be if, like, he was, like, making fun of commercials like that? Like, what happened to commercials back then? Like, I'll discuss this real quick. What happened to them? They used to be funny, but now they're just bad. They're just bad. Like, they're not entertaining. They're very zombified. They're very gentrified. They're like, when you have commercial, like, I was actually watching one on Instagram. It was Sting. It was a Sprite commercial. Sting comes to this kid's house and he's like, "Yes, you won the, the sweepstakes for a wrestler to come the wrestling dreams come true thing, and the kid comes and they're like, the parents like, Mom, Dad, Sting here, and they open up the living room to have them wrestle, and it goes, and their kid and the Sting are squaring up, and like the kid goes, hold on, and drinks a Sprite, and the kid gets annihilated. Sting is throwing him around the room. The fact that Sprite knew it was like, oh look, Sprite's not going to give you superpowers, it's just going to quench your thirst. That was funny. At least there's some kind of self-awareness in those commercials where it's like, yeah, we're making fun of Gatorade and shit like that because that shit's not healthy for you. Neither's are. It's a delicious drink that you drink. It's a vice. Just go with it. But then you have like nowadays these commercials where they're just like, they're acting like 19, because they're being politically correct. They're trying to be like, oh, we're not trying to offend anybody. Offend people. Fucking make them feel uncomfortable with the situation they're in. Because again, that's the brilliance of comedy. It makes you think outside the box. When you have a good comedian who doesn't give a shit about left or right, they don't give a shit about your fucking political views. They're gonna pie you right in the face because you need it, because you're acting like a smug, fucking, elitist asshole, aristocratic asshole. You need to be kicked in the nuts. You need to be slapped around. You need the Three Stooges, the Marx Brothers. You need the slobs to come in there and trash the fucking place. You need somebody to cause a mess. And you know what? I am problematic, by the way. I say the word fag. I'm not going to say the N-word because I know what happened. I've said it once before, and I got my ass kicked. I'll tell you that funny story later down the road. I'm hoping people... It's a funny story, trust me. But I did get my ass kicked. I did learn my lesson from that, so don't fucking think I just... And by the way, every white person has said the N-word once in a blue moon has said it multiple times, okay? As much as they say, oh, I've never said... They have, maybe towards other white people, and probably using it in the correct contents and stuff like that. People have used the word bitch. People have used racial slurs, and that doesn't involve just white people. It involves black people, it involves Asian people, it involves Latinos, not Latinx. That is some stupid shit. That is the stupidest fucking thing. That is, if you want to know what's the problem with the liberalism, that stupid shit right there. When you know how bad liberals are when they're being accidentally racist, when they call you Latinx. What are you, fucking X-Men? Latin X-Men. It's like, stop it, you stupid bastards. Every national people are racist to a certain degree. All right, racism is never gonna go away. Systematic. You know how you stop I can't endemic racism or whatever the fuck people are calling that. Here, simple. Just acknowledge it and be like, okay, we can be xenophobic. The older generation is xenophobic for a reason. They're trying to keep it in the community. Okay? Some people just are not going to go aboard with it. They're not in the whole communist bullshit nonsense. And neither, and I granted, there should become, if they want to be open-minded, fine, be open-minded. But just remember that you can't, force people to like what you like. That's it. Alright, I think I've spoken long enough. I think I'm going off the rails here, but I'm just going to give it the final points here. If we really want to talk about shit, let's talk about shit, okay? Let's make entertainment great again. Who gives a... Like, everybody, again, be like the Marx Brothers. Be like the Three Stooges. Be like those guys who just came in there and, like... The Caddyshack, the slobs. Be the slobs who go into, like, the aristocratic bullshit nonsense and just trash it. Just pie everybody in the face. Have fun with it, folks. Be that. Be the anarchist. Be Bill Murray. Be Chevy Chase. Be the guy who basically just causes the anarchy to the people who are just need a slap in the face and a slap on the ass and a pie in the face. Alright, I've spoken long enough. Peace be with you, motherfuckers. Have a great day.